It's easy to talk bad about bad movies, so I thought I would challenge myself to say something good about a bad movie. Hi, I'm Andre, I'm a black nerd, and today I'm gonna say 5 good things about Transformers: The Last Knight. I'll probably do a full review of this movie later, so stay tuned for that. It's just that there's a certain someone who I talked about Transformers movies before with on this channel who actually saw this movie with.
Ate the whole plate. The whole plate.
So I'm hoping that she might show up in a later video so we could talk about the whole movie then. So right now, I'm just gonna do this, if that's cool with you. If you like this type of video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please subscribe. I talk about movies a lot on this channel, and also be a part of the squad by the bell by ringing that bell to be notified of future videos I make. Let's do this. 5 good things about Transformers: The Last Knight. There's gotta be some good. It's not 0. Like Max Steel was, the last movie I did this with. So that's something. That's not one of the things. That's just giving you a nice pat on the back. Participation trophy. 1, this movie actually looks really beautiful. Most of the movie apparently was filmed with IMAX 3D cameras, and it shows. I didn't see the movie in 3D because IMAX 3D glasses plus prescription 3D glasses plus lots of fast action sequences equals possible vomit. But even in 2D, I was really impressed at how this film looked. The colors, the depth of field, the aesthetic, everything about this movie looked really good. The action sequences looked very beautiful. The CGI was great, particularly the sequence where the Transformers are apparently part of the days of King Arthur. All of that looks good. It's beautiful. I will give you that. It's beautiful. I may not know what the hell is going on throughout most of the movie, but hey, at least it looked good while it was confusing me. Kind of like that hot chick or hot dude that you meet and you're like, oh man, you are so hot, I want to be around you or date you, and then you hang out with them about 2.5 hours and you realize there's not much to them. But hey, you look good. 2, there's this new girl that's in the movie. Her name is Isabela Moner, who I remember from seeing in the, no joke, Legends of the Hidden Temple Nickelodeon TV movie. There's a success story if you ever heard one. She's actually really good in this movie. She plays Isabella with a Z, and she has a robot pal, Squeaks, and they work together to help out Transformers when this government task force is assigned to basically destroy all the Transformers. And at some point, she comes across this group of Stand By Me Boys in the Hood kids who want to see a dead robot body, and they get caught up in the mix, and there's this whole thing about all these kids and a couple of robots trying to avoid the government. And I was like, huh, this is actually kind of interesting. It kind of gave me a bit of nostalgia for like an 80s or 90s type of film. You know, the types of films you would watch as a kid where a bunch of kids would befriend a strange creature and they would go on kind of crazy adventures, kind of like the Goonies or E.T. or Spaced Invaders. It felt like Stranger Things with Transformers, Stranger Transformers. Given the fact that this movie is produced by Steven Spielberg, which I think a lot of people forget, yes, the Transformers movies are produced, executive produced by Steven Spielberg. That totally sounds like his type of movie. That sounds like something he would make. It doesn't last though. Eventually the kids go away. Isabella stays around for a little bit longer, but then she disappears throughout most of the movie, and then she shows up towards the end of the movie because the writers were like, oh crap, she's still here. Dang it. Give her a line. But for that brief time period, I saw a different type of Transformers movie that could have been. Maybe this is how the 1980s Bumblebee spinoff movie will be. And yes, that is a real thing. That's happening. 3, there's a scene where Megatron talks to a bunch of lawyers in a desert to try to negotiate getting some of his Decepticon friends out of jail. I am not making that up at all. And then we get some kind of Suicide Squad sequence where we get a bunch of introductions to different robots like Mohawk and Berserker and Nitro Zeus, complete with their names showing up on screen. How did it take 5 movies for them to decide to do something like this, to actually introduce a Transformer by having him close up on the screen, freeze frame, and then his name right there plastered right underneath him? But they only do it for this one sequence. I wish they would have done this across all the movies. Yes, it's an absolute total cliche, but you know what? When you're dealing with a bunch of CG robots and trying to remember which robot is which robot, it kind of works. And speaking of which, number 4, this is the one Transformers movie where I can honestly say for most of the time, I knew which Transformer was on the screen. If you go back and look at some of the earlier fights in some of the earlier Transformers movies, there are literally times where I'm like, I do not know which Transformer is fighting which Transformer. I see a bunch of gray flopping around each other while is in the background, and I have no idea who's fighting who. Is that an Autobot or a Decepticon? Got no clue. A lot of the Transformers now have lots of bright colors and very distinct looks and personalities and voices, and you can really tell on screen now which Transformer is fighting which. That really helps out a lot. That's a plus for this movie. That's one of the 5 points of this movie, that when a Transformer is on screen, 9 times out of 10, you know which Transformer it is. Good thing it took them 5 movies to get us to that. 5. You have to see Anthony Hopkins in this movie. I'm not saying he gives a great performance or a good performance, but I'm also not saying he gave a bad performance either. I'm just saying you need to see Anthony Hopkins in this movie. If in your brain you're thinking that Sir Anthony Hopkins is this established, refined, eloquent, classically trained, high caliber of an actor, then you have not lived until you see Sir Anthony Hopkins look at Mark Wahlberg in the face on screen and call him dude. And he says it like that, dude. How about seeing Sir Anthony Hopkins call someone a dickhead, or shoot his middle finger at someone while driving past them in a car? Maybe you like to see Sir Anthony Hopkins ask Mark Wahlberg when's the last time he's made whoopee? Or how about seeing Sir Anthony Hopkins threaten the Prime Minister with a watch, a transforming watch that supposedly killed Hitler? Only in Transformers The Last Night, rated PG-13 in theaters now. I feel like Anthony Hopkins must have seen Sir Patrick Stewart get cast as the voice of the poop in the Emoji Movie and said, I can top that. I'm just telling you, man, I don't know what to think of Anthony Hopkins' performance in this. I'm just saying it has to be seen to be believed. When Mark Wahlberg comes in with his, hey bro, hey, it's Transformers bro, you accept that. But Anthony Hopkins in this movie is like a level I have not seen. I mean, we're talking Christopher Walken in 9 Lives level of just what the hell is going on? I don't know, but give me more of it. Anthony Hopkins, you are a national treasure. That's all I got, y'all. This movie is bad. I'm telling you, y'all, this movie hurt me. I physically felt pain watching this movie. I left the movie to get some popcorn and a drink because I just needed some kind of nourishment to get through this thing. And there was a moment when I was outside there, I was like, I could just go right now. My car's right outside. I could just leave. I could just ditch my friends, ditch this movie, and just be done. I went back, but there was a moment where I thought it. Oh my gosh, man. But here's the thing. I happened to be lucky enough to see this movie with an audience of people who were clearly there, ready to see a Transformers movie, and they were totally into it. This movie works for some people, man. Hey, more power to you. You like what you like. I met those people that night, and I'm like, there it is. This is why this movie makes $1 billion every time. There's just some people who enjoy movies about transforming robots into cars and having these big action sequences, even though the plot, the character, the structure, all that stuff is bad. Don't care. They got it. Whether it's cars on screen or girls on screen, which are pretty much treated the same way in these movies, this movie is eye candy for people, man. And some people just love to indulge in that eye candy. For me personally, I got a stomach ache. Let me know what you think of these Transformers movies. Do you avoid them? Do you hate watch them? Or do you genuinely like them? Are you a TJW? Are you a Transformers Justice Warrior? And if there is a bad movie that you would like me to say good things about, leave the suggestion in the comments below. Try to leave 1 movie per comment. That way, if I use yours, I could possibly screen cap it. And if you see someone who left the movie as a comment and you like it, give them a thumbs up on their comment, so that way I will know that's one that a lot of you definitely want to see. Thanks so much for watching, and do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed, also ring that bell to be notified, and I'll see you on the other side. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000, chain chomp.